Welcome. Thank you for joining me in my little house here. Charlie and Dee might be joining us. Find a comfortable seated position. You can sit any way you'd like. Lift your chest and relax your shoulders back and down. And then close your eyes. Take a moment to settle into your space. Let the hips relax. Relax your shoulders. Soften the facial muscles. And then start to tune into your breath, gradually deepening your inhales and lengthening out your exhales, slowing them down. When you're ready, you can start to engage the Ujjayi breath, gently constricting the muscles in the back of your throat, bringing heat into the body. We'll take one more full round of breath, connecting to Ujjayi pranayama. And at the end of your exhale, gently open your eyes. Come to the hands and knees. And then do some cat-cow. On your inhale, lift your head and your tail. Exhale, round your back, hunching. Inhale, slowly extend the spine. Exhale, slowly flex it. And then just do one more on your own. Once you finish your exhale, go back to a neutral spine. Sit back onto your feet or a block. Take the tops of your hands together. So you stretch the outer wrist or the top of the forearms. Release your arms, reach out and up, breathe in. And then exhaling, come back to all fours again. Tuck your toes under, spread out the fingers. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lift up your hips and come to downward dog. Try to draw your weight up out of the arms and more back into the legs if possible. The knees don't have to be straight. If you want to do some movements with the legs, like pedaling them out, you're welcome to. Bring your legs back to stillness if there's movement. And then lift the right leg up toward the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale, step your foot between your hands and go to a low lunge. Bring your hands to the right thigh. Bring your hips up just a little and reach your arms back and open up your chest. Palms facing forward or up. If you want to let the hips sink again, go ahead. And reach up again, breathe in. Exhale, bring your hands down, possibly to blocks as we go into a modified pyramid. Lift the left knee, maybe hop the foot forward a little bit. Find a neutral spine. And breathe. Feel the stretch in the right hamstrings. And then bend the right knee, hop or wiggle the left foot back. Bring the left hand to the floor or block and your right hand to your thigh. Press against the thigh to twist at the waist. If you feel like going further, reach out and up with the left arm, making sure that the shoulder's not popping forward. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, come to plank. Exhale, bring knees, chest, and chin down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Lift your left leg up, breathe in. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, lower the right knee down. And then bring your hands up to your left thigh. Maybe find a drishti, a focal point. And bring the hips up just a little more and reach your arms out and back. Keep lower belly drawing it in. Maybe then sink the hips a little further. Now reach your arms up overhead. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your hands down. Come to that modified pyramid on this side. Lift the right knee and hop the foot forward if you want to. Use blocks under your hands if you need to. And the next breath in, bend your left knee, hop or wiggle the right foot back. And then stand right fingertips or maybe go to the fists and take left hand to your thigh. Right shoulder away from the ear. Turn at the waist to the left. Option is to reach the left arm up. I don't go as high with mine because I'm having some shoulder issues, and I honor that in my body. That's also part of yoga. Ahimsa. Deep breath in. Exhale, release your twist. Step to downward dog. Have your feet together and then go up to the tiptoes to start shifting into plank. Squeeze your legs together and push down with your hands. Belly in, glutes engaged. One more inhale. And exhale, come down to the knees, lower your chest and chin to the floor. Cobra on an inhale, and then reach back for Shalabhasana, untucking the toes. Arms reach back, or you can interlace your fingers if you're fairly advanced with your shoulder flexibility. Deep breath in. Exhale, downward dog, going through tabletop or plank. It's up to you. One more breath here. On your inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk or hop to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, spine neutral, knees unlocked. Exhale, Uttanasana. Reach your arms out and up to stand, breathing in deeply. And exhale and bring your hands to your heart. We'll prepare for a few rounds of classical sun salutations. Come to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, press your palms together. And we'll start inhaling, reach forward and up. Knees are unlocked as you fold. Exhale. Right leg steps back, knee to the floor. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Use your legs and core. Exhale, bring knees down, then chest and chin, keeping toes pressing into the mat. Inhale, cobra, hips are down, shoulders are up. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg forward, low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Unlock the knees, reach forward and up, breathing in. Exhale, hands back to heart. That's half of a round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Left leg back for a low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin down, elbows hugging in toward the ribs. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot between the hands. Grab it along the way if you need to. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. That's one round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Right leg back. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg forward, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg forward, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart one more round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Right leg back, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg forward, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands back to heart, and we'll pause there. Relax your arms down by your sides. Close your eyes. And slow down your breath. Now from Tadasana, step your right foot back and go to a wide-legged forward fold stance with the feet parallel to each other. We'll do the C variation for this one, so it's fingers interlaced behind your back, palms together, shoulders back, and then lift your chest, breathing in. Exhale, lead with the chest, bending at the hips. Try not to let the shoulder heads round forward toward the chest. And find even weight distribution in your feet, front and back, left and right. Next inhale, come all the way up to standing. Warrior two with right toes out. Extend your arms out to the sides. Relax your shoulders. Find your gaze past your right hand while I open my windows a little. From warrior two, reverse warrior. So right palm flips up. Left arm rests on the outer thigh as you reach up and back. Bending sideways at the waist, or bending the spine sideways. Now straighten the right leg. Take the left foot a little closer. Extend your arms out. And then left toes in or heel out so that hip is rotated in a little. Drop the right hip, reach to the right. And then bring right hand down, left arm up into triangle. Some of you might look toward the foot. Maybe you look to the side. Maybe you look up toward your left hand. Keep the breath steady. Now bend the right knee and take the left foot sideways. Bring right hand to the floor or maybe your forearm to the thigh. And reach your left arm into extended side angle, so left bicep is near the cheek or ear. Right or left foot's really rooted down, the knee is straight. Inhaling, reach the left arm up, come up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame the right foot, go to your left tip toes, and step back to downward dog. We'll flow through the first vinyasa together. Come to plank on your inhale. Exhale can be knees, chest, chin like I'm doing, or if you know chaturanga already, go for it. Cobra is what I'm doing, or you can do upward dog if you know it. And downward dog. On your inhale, look between your hands. Maybe go to tiptoes and bend the knees. Exhale, walk or hop to a forward fold at the front of the mat. And now come halfway up, straightening your spine, looking forward a little maybe. And exhale, fold back down. Sit back into Utkatasana, bend the knees, ankles, hips. And then maybe arms up, or you can have hands at heart. One more deep breath. Maybe drop a little lower. And exhale, you can come up to standing, relax. And then step your right foot back. Go into warrior two right away on that side with your right foot sideways. Left heel in line with the arch of the right foot. Shoulders above the hips, arms out to the sides, and neck rotated. Urdhva Virabhadrasana, left palm up, reach up and over, laterally flexing the spine to the right. Steady breath. And now start to straighten the left leg. Heel toe right foot a little closer and extend your arms out to the sides. Right hip just a little internally rotated. Left hip down toward opposite foot. Left hand to thigh or shin. Right arm in line with the shoulder girdle. Trikonasana. Now keeping your right arm where it is, bend the left knee. Maybe your left hand goes to the floor inside the foot. Maybe you use a block. Maybe you're on the forearm. Reach the right arm overhead, bicep by the ear or cheek. that right foot planted, the knee straight. Parsva Konasana is this pose. Parsva Konasana. Inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step to downward dog. Feel free to rest here in child's pose. Stay in downward dog if you want to. Or flow through Vinyasa. Now I'll demonstrate Chaturanga and upward dog. So from plank on an inhale, glutes squeezed, core engaged, bend the elbows straight back. Actually do the pose by pausing at the bottom. Then go to the top of your feet and straighten the arms. Knees stay off the mat. Really pull the shoulders back. And then core engages to lift the hips up. Maybe step over the toes and you go back to downward dog. One more breath. Because I'm tired. I don't normally do all this stuff with you guys. Look between your hands. Take a breath in. Exhale, walk or hop your feet into Malasana. So feet will go outside your hands. Heels in, toes out. In my case, boobs out. I'm very open in this pose. If you are a student of mine in person, you might know that and you understand that. You can sit on a block if you want. You can also flip it up high. You can also stay on the forearms, but keep your heels on the floor. Okay. If you're still in Malasana, go into forward fold, hips up, feet hip width and parallel. And some time to work on crow if you want to. You can stay in the forward fold or go to downward dog and rest. Flow through Vinyasa if you want, or working on crow. Palms are on the floor, heels up to drive the knees into the armpits, and then butt drops. Bend the elbows down towards your shins. Press your upper arms against your shins as you press off your feet, or not off of them, but press your toes against the floor to shift your weight more and more into the arms. Keep looking forward. If the time comes when your feet don't touch the floor anymore, then you bring them up and toward each other, keeping the knees up as high as you can. Some of you might shoot into Chaturanga and then flow from there. Meet back in downward dog if you're ready. And on an inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Come back into extended side angle. So left foot goes sideways. Maybe your right hand stays on the floor inside the foot. Maybe it's still with forearm on thigh. And then some of you might like a half bind with left hand behind the back. Opening that shoulder up. Full bind is an option as well if your practice is fairly advanced. Release the bind if you have it. Straighten the right leg and come back into triangle. So left foot a little closer and then heel back. Maybe right hand slides up to the shin. And we'll do this with a bind as well. So if your left arm is okay with it, take your hand behind the back and maybe you grab onto your thigh or stick your fingers in your hip crease. Okay, now bend the right knee. Release the bind. Frame your right foot with your hands. Go to your left tip toes and then go to the knee. Shift into a half split. Use your blocks if you need them. If your back is hunched, you might want to use blocks. Stupid microphone. I'm grateful that I'm able to do this.
Okay, go back into a low lunge. Take a breath in when you get there. Exhale back to downward dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. Open up the hips and bend the knee. If Wild Thing is in your practice, you're welcome to flip over into it. Be mindful of your knees and the left shoulder. Then back into one-legged downward dog. Back to both feet. It's option up to you to rest or flow through Vinyasa. And we'll meet back in downward dog. Lift your left leg up, breathe in. Exhale, bring your foot between your hands. Come back into extended side angle with the right foot sideways, left hand maybe to the floor inside the foot, maybe forearm on thigh. Try to angle your pelvis more to the side if you can, the front of your pelvis more to the side. And then maybe your right arm goes behind the back for half bind. Check where your weight is on your left foot. Make sure it's not sinking just toward the big toe side. Even it out. That has to do with protecting the knee. Bind if you want to, if you have it in your practice. And then release the bind. You can let the right arm just kind of rest on your side for now as you set up for triangle. With your right foot a little closer, toes in, heel out a little. And then bind with your right arm behind the back. Left shoulder, make sure it's rolling away from the chest, not dropping inward. Now on the breath in, bend your left knee. Frame your foot with your hands, go to the right tiptoes, and then lower down to the right knee. Shift back into Ardha Hanumanasana. And then come back to a low lunge. Exhale, downward dog. Lift your left leg. Open your hips, bend the knee. Stay or flip into Wild Thing. And then go back to one-legged downward dog. Both feet down, rest or flow through Vinyasa. Come back to downward dog if you're ready. And then look at your hands and bring them a little closer together. Once again, we're going to walk or hop the feet. Whack or hap the feet outside the hands. Going into Malasana again. Garland pose. Let's bind if you'd like to. Take the right shoulder down inside the thigh, wiggle it inside there. And then internally rotate the shoulder, reach around the outer thigh, and then left or right arm behind the back to clasp hands. Okay, release the bind. Come back to center, and let's give the hips a rest in Uttanasana. Feet hip width, hips up in the air. And we'll do the other side. Take the feet apart, heels in, toes out, go into Malasana again. And start wiggling right shoulder inside of the thigh. An internal rotation of the shoulder to wrap the arm around the outer thigh. Left arm behind the back, clasping. Release the bind. Come to neutral spine, go to a forward fold. On your inhale, come into a half fold again. Exhale, fold down. Option is to stay, or I should say step to downward dog, or to work on crow again if you want. Bring the feet back enough to go up to the tiptoes and take the knees into the armpits. That's as far as I feel it going right now. So play with it if you want to. You can shoot to chaturanga after a while if you want and flow. It will eventually all meet in downward dog. Lift your right leg up, breathe in. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Come into a high lunge, reaching your arms up. Feet are hip width apart as far as left and right goes. Try not to line them one in front of the other. Now we're going to come into warrior one, but release the arms down first. And then left foot over to the left a little more and forward. Let the heel drop. Straight back first, then a little bit in. As you bend the right knee, you might find that eventually the back foot can go further back. But keep the heel planted. Back knee straight. And then reach your arms up when you're ready. You can always straighten the right leg for a moment if you need a little rest. Let's reach the arms out and straighten the right leg if it's not already. Out, back, and down with the arms, and then interlace your fingers behind the back. Expand your chest, breathe in. Exhale, bend the right knee again like you did in warrior one. Lean over the right thigh. For humble warrior, maybe your head hangs forward and your torso stays on top of the right thigh. Maybe your hips open up enough to slide your shoulder inside the leg, which for me, I usually end up having to take the back foot further back. But it's not always helpful. Frame your right foot with your hands now. Go to your left tiptoes and then downward dog. You can rest or flow through Vinyasa here. Meet back in downward dog. On an inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Go into a high lunge, reaching your arms up, distancing your feet left and right. Reach the arms out and back and down. Hop your right foot forward a little. Let the heel drop back and just a little bit in. Press the heel toward the floor and then reach back up again. So we're now in warrior one. Virabhadrasana 1. This side's harder for me. Now release your arms down, straighten the left leg. Interlace your fingers behind your back, and this time, whatever thumb was on top, So, and then switch the rest of your fingers. Expand the chest, breathing in. Exhale into humble warrior. Bend the front knee, anchor the back heel. Rest over the thigh. Use your hands to frame your left foot. Go to your right tiptoes and step to downward dog. You can rest or flow through Vinyasa. Come up to all fours. And then bring your right hand a little forward. Thread your left arm underneath. Come down to the left shoulder and the side of the head for thread the needle. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, press your right hand down and come up to tabletop again. Move your left hand forward. Thread your right arm underneath, lower down to the shoulder and the side of the head. And then bring your left hand by the face, press up to all fours. Lower down to your belly. We'll have forearms on the mat for Sphinx. Take your feet a little wider than your hips. Press the hips into the floor. You'll feel your glutes contract. Pull the shoulders back, lift your chest forward and up. At some point, it might feel like you're balancing mostly on your hip bones and your pubic bone. Okay, come down and rest. Now, bring your legs all the way together. Reach your arms back by your sides. Squeeze your legs together. And then come up through locust into bow, bending the knees, grabbing the feet. I like to bend my ankles and use the front of the ankles to push against my hands to lift up into it. I also get antsy, so I do weird things with my feet. One more deep breath. Exhaling, come down and rest. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Push up to tabletop, and from there into a seated position. Bring the soles of your feet together with the knees out to the sides. It's sun. Whatever. Take a breath in, lengthening. Exhale, lead with the chest. Maybe pressing your elbows or forearms against the inner thighs to open up the hips more. our full breath cycle in Baddha Konasana. And then on the next inhale, take your time to come back upright. And we'll come into fire log. Sometimes it's called double pigeon. Left shin's going to be on the bottom, right on top. Bring your shins so that they're parallel to the front of the mat, and then right heel is going to go on top of left knee. Right knee will be right above left heel, so it might be touching it, it might be hovering above it, but in line above it. And then sit up tall. You might use the hold of your hands against your shin to go deeper into the hip stretch, so you just pull your chest forward and maybe lean over your legs. You can rest forearms on them or put your hands on the floor. If the knees are feeling any discomfort, play with flexing the ankles a little differently, or even just the toes. Now let's come back upright. Release your legs, straighten them out for a moment. Feel free to shake them out if you want to. Now the right shin is going to be on the bottom. Left shin on top. So the left heel on top of knee and left knee above right heel. This can be a pretty deep stretch for a lot of people. You can put a block under your outer thigh. You can also put one between left knee and right foot. If you feel like it's fairly easy, you can start leaning forward. Maybe resting your forearms on your left leg. Keep breathing. Now take your time to come back up. Release your legs, straighten them out, shake them out if you want to. Now bend your right knee. Grab the bottom of the foot with your left hand. Lift the foot. Externally rotate your right hip. Bring your foot towards you so your shin starts turning in almost like it's hinging on a door. Some of you might keep a hold of the foot. Some of you might take the foot in the elbow crease. Maybe interlace your fingers around the leg. Maybe you rock. Okay, now go back to stillness. Bring your foot in front of you. Bring your left hand back to the bottom of the foot and bring right shoulder inside of the right knee or thigh. And you can lift the right butt cheek to take your hand to the calf to maybe sling your leg, your calf up above your shoulder. This is all optional. It's not necessary. None of it's necessary. It's not what yoga is about. It's not even about the poses, but you guys know it already. If you want to do an arm balance, you got to really squeeze your leg against your shoulder so the leg doesn't slide down as you go to the hands. Hips lift. Left leg goes over right, cross at the ankles, and then you squeeze your right upper arm with your thighs. And then the left elbow pushes into the waist, and you're in, not grasshopper, Ashtavakrasana. I think it's 8 angle pose. That's what the English is. Okay, now left leg straight, right knee bent. Take your right hand to the sole of the left foot. Lift the foot and then bring it toward you with the knee going out. This is all a movement coming from the hip joint. Stay here, or go here. Okay, now if you're rocking at all, come to stillness. Grab your left foot with your left hand, bring it forward. Actually, sorry, no, right hand to the sole of the left foot. And then bring your left shoulder inside the thigh. All this slinging of the calf up above the shoulder comes also from the hip joint. You can take your left hand below the calf and kind of wiggle your elbow behind the thigh. That can be helpful. And then hands down if you want to do the arm balance. When you let go of your left foot, that's when you have to really fire up the inner thigh. Lean forward, maybe lift the hips, maybe lift the foot. Right ankle over left. Squeeze left upper arm. Right elbow goes into the waist. And then back to seated. We're going to go down to the back now. I'm going to face this way. This is going to be close enough, I wonder. Okay. Just rest there once you're down. Now hug your knees to your chest. You can rock side to side or make some circles with your knees. I had the coronavirus. That was a joke. Back to stillness. Bring your feet to the floor. Arms at your sides. So options are to go, we're going to do 2 back bends. What the hell, let's go with 3. So bridge, it can be all 3 of them. It can be the first 2, whatever. If your practice is pretty advanced, you can go up into wheel at any time in this 3 rounds. You can start with wheel and stay in it if you want to, as well as everyone's going up and down. So arms at the sides if you're doing bridge. If you're doing wheel, you already know what you're doing. I am assuming that at this moment. Lift up your hips, push the shoulder blades down, lift up the chest, and maybe wiggle your shoulders underneath you a little more if you're in bridge. Now come back down slowly with control. Take a moment to rest. That's back bend number 1. Number 2, either bridge or wheel. It's your practice. You can do anything you want. Lift up when you're ready. And with control, lower down to your back. And rest. And 3rd, back bend. It's your choice. Bridge, wheel, bridge or wheel, or the next option. If you're pretty damn advanced, you can go down to your forearms, 1 at a time. When you bring the hands down, sometimes it's helpful to wrap, bring the hands down and then wrap the elbows in toward the midline. This is pretty damn advanced, so don't feel like you need to do it right now if it's not calling out to you. And then take your time to lower down.
if you're still up in the back bend. And rest, however is good for you. Take your knees to the chest again. Feel free to rock side to side or make some circles. If you're circling, gently reverse direction. And then back to stillness. Bring your hands to your shins to hug your knees in a little bit more. And then reach down and grab the pinky toe sides of your feet. Or maybe your big toe with your peace fingers. I find I get a better calf, well, I do get a better calf stretch if I hold the pinky toe side of my feet. Straighten the legs to any degree and don't let the tailbone push or lift up off the floor. Now separate the legs so your inner thighs stretch. And bring the legs back together, knees to the chest, and then feet to the floor. An inversion is the next option or the next, pose. If you take my classes regularly, you're familiar with the shoulder stand sequence. You're welcome to do that. I'm not a fan for my own personal practice. So, okay, we're good. I like to do forearm stand. You're also welcome to do headstand if you prefer. So kind of a free-for-all right now of inversions. Whatever your practice already has in it, since this is meant to be an intermediate level. If you're in shoulder stand, start to lower your legs back into plow. If you're in any other inversion, start to find your way out. And once you're in plow, bend the knees down toward the forehead for Karnapidasana, or ear pressure pose. And then roll down to your back if you're in ear pressure pose. Next, you're down on the back. Relax. And everybody else who did different inversions, lay on your back as well. If you did shoulder stand, make sure you come up into fish. So come up onto the forearms. Point your toes, lift your chest. You're welcome to do this, of course, if you didn't do shoulder stand. Now tuck the chin, come down to your back and rest. Bend your knees and have the soles of the feet together. Knees out to the sides for Supta Baddha Konasana. And rest your hands on your belly. Maybe go one hand above the navel, one below, or you can go one hand to either side of it. You're welcome to put blocks under your outer thighs to support your hips, which I'm going to do because my left hip is too hypermobile.
Close your eyes if they're open. We'll do a little breath practice, so completely exhale first. And you can also let go of the Ujjayi breath now. Let the belly relax. Start to breathe in and feel the rise under your hands as you're inhaling. And then slowly exhale, feel the fall under the hands as the lungs empty. The diaphragm moves up and out of the abdominal cavity. Allow the belly to relax as you breathe in, feeling the expansion under the hands. And exhale slowly, feeling the drop down, the lowering of the abdomen. Now we'll move up a little. Move your hands to the lower ribs and rest your fingers across the lower ribs. Same breathing, same natural breath, same belly expansion, except we're going to explore the depth of our lungs a little bit more. Start with a complete exhale. And allow the belly to relax. Breathe in, let the belly expand first until it won't expand anymore. And then let the space under your hands expand as you breathe in even more air, filling up the lungs. Exhaling slowly, feel it all drop down. Allow the belly to relax and expand first, and then the ribs as you breathe in. And then exhaling slowly, feel it all drop back down. Continue on your own. Now we're going to move up further if you're still awake. Move your hands up above. Oops, that's the mic. Move your hands up above your chest so they're resting on the part of your rib cage that's just below your collarbones. Some people like to stick their thumb into the armpit. If your hips are getting tired of this, feel free to find another leg position. Find a complete exhale. And allow the belly to relax and expand first as you breathe in, and eventually the ribs, the low ribs. And then when you feel like you can't breathe any more air in with the ribs expanding, let that space under your hands lift to sip in just a tiny bit more. Hold it in, and then feel everything slowly lower down as you exhale. Maybe shoulders getting heavier. Belly relaxes as you breathe it in, filling up the lungs first with belly expansion and then low ribs to take in a little more. And then eventually that last bit sipped in with the lifting under the hands. And then release the breath slowly. Feel it all drop back down gently. One more on your own. Once you finish your next exhale, release your hands and rest your arms however you'd like. And then extend your legs down to the floor, setting up for Shavasana. Let yourself relax. Have your palms facing up with the arms out a foot or so from the hips, feet apart. Close your eyes if they're still open. Notice if there's tension in the forehead or temples, if you can let it go. Relax your cheeks. Unclench your jaw. Relax your lips. Allow the shoulders to be heavy. Relax the abdomen, the pelvis, the legs, and the arms. Just lie there still and relaxed. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring movement back into your fingers and toes. Reach your arms overhead and stretch your whole body. Bend your knees and gently roll over to your most comfortable side and let your whole body rest. When you're ready, gently press back up into a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center and close your eyes. I'll close with the Guru mantra, like always. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Akanda Mandala Karam Vyapta Mena Chara Charam Tat Padam Darshita Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me with this strange virtual thing. It's very strange not being face to face, but at least we have this way of practicing together. I guess I'll see you all soon.